Welcome back, guys. Another video with Rick Rants, your favorite. Maybe not your favorite, but if you watch me, I appreciate you. Like I really do appreciate it. It's not doing anything for me, but feeding my ego. But at the end of the day, I appreciate it. But today, I want to talk about God fruits in One Piece, which honestly, I'm gonna go a lot deeper. This is gonna be a two-part video actually because I don't want to make the video super long, and like with what I got, this video is gonna end up being super long, especially with me already like talking so much in the beginning. So this video is still gonna end up being super long. So I'm gonna make it into two parts. So tune in next time for the second part. But for now, let's dive into these god fruits. For starter, we got Luffy's fruit, the Sun God. The Sun God is revered in like multiple different cultures. You know, it's not even like just in like it's not just in One Piece. In real life, there's actually like a sun god. I think it's the sun god Ra, if I believe, and then there's also the Greek god like Apollo. I'm pretty sure is it Apollo? Might be Apollo. Don't quote me on that. I didn't do that deep of research. Like I did surface level research. I'm gonna be throwing at you some facts, but like don't expect every fact from me. The fact that I know off the top of my head is what I'm gonna be throwing at you, basically. But I want to start off with Yamato's fruit, which I know most people is gonna be like, "Oh, that's not a god. That's just the guardian deity of Wano." Which true, but deity is in the word, like guardian deity of Wano. So this is a god that was revered in Wano, maybe like in the fourth century or like whatever it might be. It was a deity, a guardian deity to Wano, and like that's the thing. If you ever watch like Records of Ragnarok, they have a bunch of different gods. When you see all the gods, the god selection for fighting and stuff, and you see the other gods in the stands, all those gods are like demigods, just like Hercules. Hercules is like considered a full god, but Hercules is a demigod technically. Like some gods rise up to that level of like everybody knows them and stuff, but like some guys just like, yeah, they're good for that region, but they just were never known as well in other regions. You know, it's like it's a lot of nuances to like the term God, as you can say. But Yamato technically is the guardian deity of Wano, which technically makes her fruit one of the mythical god fruit. And I think that's what a lot of the things with the mythical fruits that it is. And then you will see more as I get deeper into this video that like that's kind of like what it is. You know, like Yamato, she got the dog fruit. Uh, I forget the model. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I forget the model. But like it was explained to us from Kaido and from Kaido and Wano, and I'm pretty sure it was also said. Pretty sure, yeah, Yamato was saying something about it. She was like, "Oh, like it was a like chance to like she ate the fruit because she's meant to be the guardian deity of Wano since she's wants to be Odin and stuff." Which honestly, I fully truly believe, and I am fully on board that stuff. Then Lex, I got Loki's fruit. Loki's fruit used to belong to the warrior god. If you read the chapters, I want to say 175. It was when Loki got introduced and stuff, and like they like had that panel with uh the previous user of the Sun God fruit and the Sun God actually fighting. Like not Joy Boy. I don't think it was Joy Boy, was it? They said the Sun God. I'm pretty sure they said the Sun God. So this might have been even before like Joy Boy and all the or like Emu and all that stuff. So this was like he's an ancient god. Like to them he's a deity. He was like the first one to do it. That's all it's about. Like literally, the God title is like one person rising above his peers, basically. Like like I feel like Naruto right now. I've been saying a lot, like, but no. But the God title usually gets handed down to some, like the one person that rises above his peer and become stronger, or like does achieve something that everybody for the rest of time remembers as like an amazing feat that nobody will ever be able to accomplish again. So the God title is not technically, it doesn't technically have to be an actual God, but it could just be somebody who was just like so powerful in that era that like nobody can compare with them. And like he was called the warrior god. So technically, and obviously, it might have been have something to do with the Nidhogg fruit. Obviously, because I think like from what we saw, he looked like an ancient giant, just like Loki and his father, and all the other ancient giants. So he looks like an ancient giant. So just because of that, he might have been the first one to ever eat the Nidhogg fruit. That was an ancient giant, or not even like eat the Nidhogg fruit. Maybe he was just the Nidhogg itself to begin with. Like altogether, he was just the Nidhogg, because like devil fruit, like we don't even know when devil fruit came about. Devil fruit came about from wishes from people, and like that time seemed to be after, like, or like after the sun god and everything, like, because I'm not gonna say that like it was Joy Boy's era, because I think Joy Boy also ate the Nika fruit. So I think Joy Boy also ate the Nika fruit, because his regular appearance does not look like that regularly, but we have seen him in his Joy Boy form, just like Luffy and stuff. And then speaking of Luffy, let's get into Luffy. Luffy is a god from the One Piece universe. He was a god created by Oda himself, a god of freedom, liberation, and everything of that. That's what Luffy is. That's his title. That's what he is. Like he's a god created by the One Piece word for liberation and freedom. So like all these other gods, that's why like I'm trying to get into this video, is like all these other gods are just people that were like at the very top of their age, or like accomplish some things that like no other person have achieved before. That's what they would call gods. And then I'm gonna kind of get into Emu next, but technically I don't believe Emu. Maybe maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. We don't know nothing yet. Maybe it does. But for Emu, I believe that like, cause when he came out, they say his devil fruit as the devil fruit. So like maybe the original creator of devil fruit, maybe he's the one that first brought the idea out. So technically, he could be able to grant other people some of these powers, like at least maybe like the ones that he has found. I don't know. I want to go deeper with that in the next video, because what I have to say about that is like actually a lot, because like I have like more to add to that with like the Gorosei and everything, because like I feel like that's interconnected, like Emu devil fruit and you know the Gorosei's transformation and like whatever else that might be. So I'm gonna go with that in the part two of this video. I'm gonna go with that in the next part two. But then I got Dragon. Dragon might, from the last chapter we've all seen like, don't act surprised now. Don't come here acting surprised that, oh, you got spoiled, that, oh, nah. Dragon may have the rain god fruit. One of the two other gods that been named, like name dropped in Skypiea, way back in Skypiea, in the flashback in Skypiea, way back then. You know, he's one of the four gods. He might be one of the four gods that was name dropped because we know Luffy is one already, and then next one might be Dragon. Like it's a very high possibility. There's a storm. Well, there's not a storm every time because we have seen him other times without bringing the storm, and then we also seen that like, oh, so everybody's kind of reaching here. Even me, I'm reaching because honestly, it looks more like a win-win fruit, and honestly, it might just be a win-win fruit because like you could blow clouds like rain clouds to your direction. Like if Dragon is as badass, like most wanted man in the world, like if he is badass as like everybody says, I do not see that impossible for him at all. Like if he has, like even if he doesn't have the rain fruit, the rain god fruit, he can have just the wind fruit, and that wind he could blow storm clouds, because Nami can just make storm clouds appear. I know you guys have all seen the theories. There's like multiple people. They're like, oh, Nami, Vivi, Dragon. All these people might be the people that may get the rain god fruit and all that and everything, which all valid theories. All valid theories. But honestly, especially since we've seen that the rain god is a woman, you know, it might be better off with somebody like Vivi. Honestly, Vivi, because honestly, if we're talking about like future aspect of the crew, if Vivi, since now she has nowhere to go because Emo is actively hunting her. If you want to talk about future standing in the crew, which she is a Straw Hat crew, by the way, if you guys didn't know, she's a Straw Hat crew member fully, So if she is gonna join the crew, at the point that we at, we can we know Vivi has not been training, bro. Let's not even sit here and joke about that. Like oh no. After Luffy left, like she started training sword with what's that guy that was leading the revolutionary in Alabasta? Uh, Kyoya? Was it Kyoya? Might have been something like that. But I digress. But anyways, I feel like even if Vivi was to join the Straw Hat crew again, she would need something like that. If for nothing else, but just not to be a burden. Because like after we left Wano and we didn't take Momo or Tama, that means we do not need no cabin boy or no person that's gonna be slowing down the crew. That's what I got from that. Especially also not getting Yamato, because like honestly I feel like Yamato would have been a good protector of the cabin boys, ogres, and like stuff like that. But after we didn't get Yamato or any cabin boys, I feel like this is that's why I never believed in Bonnie joining the crew. Bonnie, yeah, she has some amazing powers. It's great. It would be a great asset to the crew. But honestly, no, I do not believe Bonnie would need to join the crew. Like honestly, too young and honestly not really that fight experience. Like, oh yeah, she punched a Gorosei one time. Like, you think that like she's walking around able to do that all the time? I doubt it. I doubt it. Like Luffy not around, she's in a desperate situation, getting beat. She's not pulling out Nika. She's not pulling out the Sun God. Like that was like in the moment. Luffy's there. She could see the thing. She's 12 years old, guys. She's 12 years old. She's 12-year old, guys. Let's drop that. Let's drop Bonnie for Nakama. It's okay. But the next one I want to talk about is also Chopper. I know y'all seen the theory. Everybody got it. Everybody got it. Sorry I'm late. Whatever. But Chopper has been theorized to like possibly be the forest god, which will be the third on our god list that we got. You know, the third one from Dragon, Luffy, and possibly Chopper. So we got two possibilities of other gods that we haven't seen yet or have proven yet. You know, and Chopper, I do actually believe there's a high possibility, actually more than Dragon, and like Nami and Vivi and everything else. More than that, I believe the Chopper might be the forest god more than anything. Because like when you think of like forest and stuff, like you think about healing, like there's always like magical forests in anime, magical animals that I can like heal you and stuff like that. So when you get to thinking like that, you start to see that like Chopper's a very good candidate for that. His dream is literally to be able to cure any disease in the world. So that would make him a perfect candidate. And then on top of everything, him being able to clear the Domi reverses with just a smack. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man. You get me? Like that's a closed deal. That's a closed deal. That's a closed deal. After you see that, there's nothing much more that you need to like think about. Like there's a lot of things that like you could put in on Chopper's case, but like after that, that's kind of like, hey, and it might still not be true. Hey, I'm gonna have the theory though. I'm gonna be right here with it. I'm gonna be right here with it. I'm gonna be right here with it. Y'all saw it here first. Well, y'all didn't see it here first, but y'all saw it here and y'all heard what I said. But anyways, but out of the four gods, that means we're missing one. We're only missing one. The Earth God, which I have a super. I have two. I have two. I have two people that I have in mind, which honestly might be throwaway, might be true, might fucking hey, you don't know because hey, since we're on the topic of gods, Loki, previous fruit owner, and the sun god were not friends. Loki, fruit owner, was actually cool with Emu more than he was with the sun god. So there's nothing to say that like the rain god, the forest god, or the earth god might be allies of Luffy. They might be allies of Luffy in the means of taking down Emu at this point of time. At this point, at this current point of time, at this timeline that we're living in right now, they might be like in that phase. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna team up with you to take down Emu. But it might switch back up after it's over. Cause hey, y'all see Naruto, right? Y'all see Naruto. Y'all see where I'm going here? Y'all see where I'm going? If you don't see where I'm going, let me tell you about it. So in Naruto, right? They defeated the big bad. I did. They defeated two. Well, they didn't defeat two big bad, but they defeated Madara. Well, technically not, but Kaguya came, killed Madara, or Black Zetsu came, killed Madara, revived Kaguya, and everything, and then Kaguya took over and ended up being the big bad. And then Naruto and Sasuke defeated Kaguya together. In that case, it was the sun and the moon that defeated the darkness, or whatever you want to call it, you Naruto fans. Whatever you want to call it. I'm not even coming at y'all. I know y'all some vicious people, so I'm not even coming at y'all. But anyways, I'm saying this could be the same thing for Luffy and Blackbeard. Because Because as we are right now in the show, right? It's yeah, as we are right now in the show, everybody thinks that Blackbeard is gonna be the final villain, seeing as Emu came out prematurely because God Usopp wanted to talk smack on the snail phone. Well, not really the snail phone. That's a comedy skit I was watching, but he wanted to talk smack on Snailgram, you know. But no. So the final villain that we all thought was gonna be the final villain is out right now. He's literally in Elbaf, right where we are right now, attacking, doing damage. He don't took out my man Zoro. Zoro! Now he don't took out my man Sanji, bro. You know? The two wings of the Pirate King, bro. Hey, I know we all know end of story, bro. These two are gonna be like that, bro. Emperor level minimum. Like, honestly, think of the weakest emperor besides Buggy. Don't ever fucking mention Buggy. But weakest emperor besides Buggy. That's probably where I put Zoro and Sanji at the end of the story, bro. Maybe a little bit below, maybe slightly, but like right there, like, hey, they're hanging with those lower tier yonkos. They're hanging with them, purely hanging with them. They're not beating them, but they're hanging with them, like blow for blow. Still lose at the end, but hanging there. I put both of them on there. And hey, as you proceed to see my video, you will see bro. You will see I relate to Sanji a lot because I'm a cook. And I love to cook. And I love the women too. And my muscles is like glistening. My bad. But I relate to Sanji a lot in my stuff. But like, honestly, I value Zoro's loyalty over Sanji's flirtiness. Cause like I'm flirty, but like, you know, at the end of the day, I want to find me a girl that, you know, rock with me. You know, I want to find me my little pudding and stuff, you know, for Sanji, you know. But at the end of the day, I say that like maybe because we've all talked about how Blackbeard is gonna have a third devil fruit. He's gonna have a third devil fruit by the end of the story, or currently has a third devil fruit. What if it's the Earth God? Since we got on the topic of like everybody, like all the guys being introduced and stuff, what if Blackbeard is the one that has the Earth God? We have had no signs of that at all. At all. We have no inclination of anything because first of all, let's talk about it. Blackbeard got the Gura fruit. What does the Gura fruit does? Causes earthquakes. Earthquakes. I'm not saying the Gura fruit specifically is the Earth God fruit, but shit, it might be. It might be. Might be. How do you know? Maybe that's what it was. Whitebeard never awakened it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Blackbeard does not need a third devil fruit. He already has it. The Gura fruit throws earthquake and turbulence in the earth that causes tsunamis. That power is heavily earth related. Just that power in general is earth related. And then he has a darkness fruit, which is gravity related. When you put a lot of earth together, it gets its own gravity. When you have a lot of mass, like, don't quote me on this, I'm not a scientist or anything, you know, I'm talking head from stuff that I remember from high school and stuff. But if you have something with a lot of mass, it usually starts having its own gravity like the moon. Like the moon, how does the moon circulate around the earth? It's just a big rock. Wasn't it? Yet again, don't quote me on this. Don't go out there saying I'm stupid. But like, then the moon come from fragments of the earth, and then it like fell into the earth's gravitational pull and started rotating around it. Don't quote me on this, but I'm saying darkness, Gura. Blackbeard might be the earth god. He might be the one, the fourth that we've been looking for this whole time. And just like in Naruto and Sasuke, I feel like that's how it's going to come down to. So we're going to have Luffy's dad, possibly, the forest god, or the rain god, Luffy's crewmate, Chopper, the forest god, being able to heal all the allies. And then Luffy himself, the sun god. The guy that's there to liberate the world. They might team up to end Imu's tyranny and bring the world back to peace. But then, at the end of it, like at this point, I don't know if it's going to be... You know what? We're going to go to another video about that. Like I've been yapping too long about... And I'm messing up other videos that I can make. But, whatever. But I'm saying, at the end, they come together... Just like Naruto and Sasuke, and then Blackbeard is like, nah, I want to be king of the world, you know? Like, after they defeat Imu, he's the one that pulls out the line, no, it's a revolution. Or whatever Sasuke said at the end of Naruto. I think that's what he said. He said, like, no, it's going to be a revolution or something. But, y'all seen the vision? Y'all seen the vision? I hope y'all seen the vision. If y'all see the vision, I'll see y'all in the next video.